How y'all doing? It's Judge Lynn. Um, I hope you're well. I did a tiny Toler Town update somewhere on there, and I got very excited about a part of it. And it's the joy of being easily entertained. I think it's like I I I I, I scroll sometimes. You know how you catch yourself scrolling. We all do it. I scroll and I scroll and I see all these people doing exciting things. And sometimes I think to myself, well, Lynn, you're not living as large as you could, and not necessarily large in terms of buying a, big house and flashy things, but as terms as vacationing and going places and all of that kind of stuff. Hi, Decker, how are you? He knows I'm not going to stop now, so he just leaves. And And I thought about Dolly Parton's husband, Carl Dean. Carl Dean could have done anything he wanted to. He could have flown around with her, did everything, but Carl Dean stayed at home because that's where he wanted to be. And I think I'm a homebody. I think this is where I want to be. And I, I did a from my last time I don't have it here. The last time I had my coach talking about getting out of the house, I always decompress for an hour after I talk to my life coach because, you know, people say things to you and then you respond, but you don't think it through. And I got to think through what I told her and what she told me. And, she came up with this assessment, but maybe she came up with this assessment because I told her this bank of stories about something or somebody and not this other bank of stories. So she may not have gotten a skewed perception. I think it all, and then I write down what's going on. You know what I mean? I'm paying for these sessions, so I'm not going to just have someone talk to me and just have the okay, okay. I'm not doing that. So I write everything down, and part of what I wrote down of all the things I did in the last 2 years, and I was surprised about how many there were. Uh, I flew to Miami, danced with Omar Khan. Oh, stop it! I'm frustrated today. I'll put that on here if I can find it. And I've gone to St. Charles, Louisiana, did a speech. I've done a speech in Oakland. I've I've done all those other things, jazz, Pilates, jujitsu. We did my house, put a porch on the back of the house, you know. Uh, but I do things that are confined. But and the list was far longer than I thought. The list was like the refugees and I've gone out. Oh, I had my makeup artist from divorce court came just for a weekend and just kind of plucked me out of the house, and they were staring at it. A B and B. They did my hair, he cut it, she did my makeup. And if I can get a picture of them and 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 what they used to do to me, oh, facially. And that was Rick and Val, and I also had Enoch, rest in peace, and Sylvia. Oof, I had teams. Sometimes I would just stand there and look at the mirror after they've done my face because it was like, man, I've forgotten what she looks like. And it was funny because when we were first at it, I don't know if I just told you the story or not. If I did, I apologize. But when I was first at it, I didn't know anything. I was just a chick from Ohio, who got a job offer. And I went out there, I didn't know nothing about nothing. And they had, oh, I think I told this story. Yeah, I think I told this story already. I don't know if I have or not. Uh, but anyway, they used to have to give me a break in the chair because I couldn't sit there that long because I didn't know how to be pampered. And then we would all get in a circle, hold hands, and pray because I would have to fly home, and I was always scared, scared to do that. But anyway, they came and plucked me, and we partied, and they did my makeup. I spent the night over there, but I like being close to home. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's the reason why I didn't go to class. I didn't go to class because I had some great. No, I feel safer when I'm in the house. Is this the only thing I should do? No, but I'm not going to be mad about it anymore. Not going to be upset about it anymore. Or not going to, if I'm happy, if Carl Dean can be Carl Dean, I can be this chick sitting in my house. Now I have to have the ability to leave when I need to. So that's where I have to be careful about my willingness to accommodate my base nature, which is to be home, and then my new learned ability to accept my base nature as okay to be without allowing my base nature to expand to the point where it doesn't allow me to act in opposition to how I typically feel. So you have to be careful about all of those things. I have to, so now I have a new progress plan to put in place about how to make sure, okay, I'm okay at home, but not lose my ability to leave the house. This is all paint and bleach. This is my work shirt. I love this shirt. It's the best shirt ever. Even my son likes it. Now I got white paint over here and all this kind of stuff going on. But I love this shirt. I don't know why I had to say. But anyway, I did want to at least answer a couple of questions that y'all had for me. One young lady, let me move this thing so I can see what it says over here. Oh, okay. Oh, she wanted to talk about discomfort. And this is what I had said was I'm often trying to be comfortable with my discomfort. In other words, I know I have to be uncomfortable in an effort to do something that I need to get done that is not naturally me, like leave the house and all this kind of stuff. And this person said, you were saying once I am comfortable with something that causes discomfort, then I pass that test and can move on, which will be another uncomfortable situation and another one and another one. So that way I can continue to grow because I notice that once I stopped expecting something, it happens. Once I stopped letting something bother me, the bother itself stopped. Am I hearing correctly? Very much so. But I want to add one more thing. The one more thing I want to add is it's not about passing a test. Now, I used to be like that all the time, and I'm always testing myself. I'm always grading myself. It's just terrible. I used to give myself, I'll have to read it to you. Uh, at the end of every year, instead of New Year's resolutions, I used to grade myself on what I did that year. I'm gonna pull out one and see what you. I mean, on different aspects of life, and then I would give myself a report like good effort. No, oh, I'm gonna find those. Those should be funny, funny for me to watch for look at. I don't know if I'm gonna read them because it might be like really weird. But um, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the, we are so judgmental these days. The judging and the versing and this is how you do things and this is my mouth. I mean, it's straight from somebody's huh, I have these experiences, I have these thoughts. This is what you ought to do because of what I know, not because of what I've studied and all this kind of stuff, which is why I'm always giving wishy washy advice. I mean, I give clear advice, but I give clear advice clearly to the person that I'm talking to if I've had enough time to learn about them. You know, all those couples online, we have a background on them too. They never show up the people that they are in the background paper, but still I got information on them, and so it enables me to get better advice. And like on here, I'm saying, well, if this, then that. I was watching the other day somebody talking about money. I've had a couple people talk about how this is how you do it. When you get married, you have this account and this account and this account. And blah, blah, blah. And this is how it's done, and this is how it's done. And one from was for a money specialist, one from was just a person who contends a certain expertise. My thing is this: everybody has an emotional relationship to money. And There's no one way for a couple to handle money that it'll work for everybody. It's just not that way because people are too weird and people are too different. Uh, my emotional relationship to money is I like to wrap it around me like a blanket, and it secures me against the world. You know, I got a cushion. I got a cushion. My husband liked to fund the money. He wanted to have fun. He had kids young, and so everything was always tight. So when we got some extra, he wanted to fund the money, and every time he fund the money, I would get mad at him, and every time I would collect the money, he would get mad at me, and we were angry about things. And we had started out with one joint account, two separate accounts, and we were going to pay the bills out, and then we were going to end. Didn't work out at all. Number one, he had his own business, so that couldn't be. Sometimes some months were better than others. I had a steady gig. He didn't mind waiting for a bill. I minded. So we would argue out a lot until we decided that I should pay all the bills. You know what I mean? He gives me the money that he can give me, and I pay the bills. And it was just easier because I physically would do it and he wouldn't the when, how, and what, and all this because I'm always rushing to get things done. He's right about that. He says, well, they'll send you. But that's how we did because I couldn't tolerate the way he dealt with money and he couldn't tolerate the way I dealt with money. So we did it in a way that we could both live through it. Parents had the same kind of relationship, you know. They had a different, you know, relationship with, but you have to take into account who you're dealing with when you're giving advice. And so it's why I'm so concerned about this black and white, you know, Manichean manner of which we take advice from people who haven't studied for a long time necessarily. And I haven't studied for a long time necessarily about a lot of the stuff that I talk about. But what I talk about are these are the things that you should look at. These are the things that you can examine. These are the processes and procedures you can put in place to make sure these are the ways I have found to cope with my weird and work with my not quite right. uh, I think is instructive and apparently is helpful because I get a lot of love in the grocery store. Let's hear it for all the love that I get in the grocery store. I love the love from the grocery store. Now I'm going to try to find some pictures, some things to add on the end of this so you can see some things. I hope I can. If I can't, then you know it's me. Hi, how are you? I'm giving you an update on my tiny Toler Town. Now come with me and you will see the tiny, tiny, tiny house that's already mostly done. Then there's my yellow house. But now I'm to Big Boy. Big Boy is right here. Now, Big Boy, I've got I've got tiles. It's gonna be a bathroom. Can you see it? Can you see it? Let me help you out. Now, don't be impressed. I did not electrify the house. I found battery powered ones, and all I did was stick it up there and turn it on. But hey, I take my flexes where I can get them. Stupid stuff just tickles me.